Well, here we are again. I am not on our property right now. I am standing under this really old and rather beautiful oak tree. It just has an issue, it has a problem, and the problem is this Edera sylvatica, which is a sort of ivy, but not really ivy. Although it also has ivy somewhat here, but that's not such a big deal. This is much more of a problem because that is a total parasite that really engulfs the entire tree, as you can see, like it did here. Although the reason that this one's dead, that's probably because somebody is doing with this one what I am doing with that one. And I have to because, yeah, there you can see my handiwork. I have to do it because I have absolutely no doubt that this tree is going to fall over with strong wind. I just don't. It is very, very old. You can tell perhaps that it's a very strong tree. It's firmly in the ground. But what can happen is that once it starts to engulf the branches, the tree would rather give up a branch than it would its core. And since it's so close to our house, maybe you can see it right there. I mean, that branch could eventually weaken to an extent that it may do some damage. Maybe not, but maybe. And I'd just rather avoid it altogether. And that's why I'm cutting the ivy. If you happen to have read my if you are a paying subscriber to my Substack, you might have read the article that I wrote about blood magic. Well, this is the oak that I was talking about in that article. I don't really want to repeat it here because it's still YouTube and certain things they just don't like. And that has anything to do with bodily fluids, for instance. That's just one of those things. I had such a hard time with this, and I'm not completely done either. I'm clearing, well, you can tell the part where I've been clearing it, but these are like vines that are this big and bigger, and they've been fused together here. First, first I tried with this, and that was getting me absolutely nowhere. I could use it to cut the smaller ones that are here. That I could use it for because it's too tight to pull it off. But yeah, it was completely useless. You can see that it bends too much, and yeah, that wasn't doing anything. My man then just gave me this, which I tried here, but eventually it just gets stuck here, and I had a really hard time pulling it back and forth. These are the cuts I tried making with the small one. That's the furthest I got before I thought that, no, I'm gonna bend the blade, I'm gonna break it somehow, that's dangerous. So that's where I got started with the bigger saw, and I had to stop because I couldn't get through. Except here, yeah, here I did manage. And I mean, but they're so tight on the tree. Then all of a sudden I heard this plop, and this started to dislodge. So I knew I was through. This part here, I did with Mr. Choppy over here, and I must have looked like an absolute lunatic chopping away at that vine. But I did manage, or at least it took me less than half the time. It took me to cut this and that. So that counts for something. So less than half the time, and I'm almost through. It's still a little bit. Yeah, there's still a little bit there. I could use the saw on that maybe, but I really like chopping it, to be honest. It's an amazing, amazing stress reliever. Yeah, great little thing. I brought it with me from our old place because I just like it. And there are hatchets and axes here, big axe too, but maybe best I don't, because I don't want to damage the tree. Oaks, I mean, it's double fold. One, I don't want any damage to come to the tree because it's right next to our house. And secondly, also, well, it's an oak tree. And oak trees are so majestic. They really are the kings amongst trees. If you see like a century-old oak tree, is the most magnificent thing, the most magnificent tree anyone's ever seen, in my opinion. They tower above everything. They're slow to grow, but once they reach maturity, they're majestic. They're beautiful in summer, and in winter they give this eerie shape. Their branches, they they they're not completely straight. They make these eerie shapes, and I really like that in winter and fall. So that is what I have been doing early in the mornings, and when the sun is down, or when it's like this overcast, because we had a bit of an Indian summer and temperatures quickly started reaching 30 degrees again, and that's too hot for me. I cannot be, I mean, I can be outside, but if I start working in the garden, I start sweating so fast, and mosquitoes here eat me alive. And I have that mosquito spray. It just it doesn't really do all that much. So yeah, that's what I've been doing. Oh, those bushes that you see next to it here and there, they're all thorny, so I have to be careful for that. And I also found this out, barbed wire, and it's fused, and it's actually fused in the tree. So I cannot get that out at all. I have to be very careful for that, especially this part here. Another peculiarity about this place. Iron fused with the tree. Somehow there's something poetic about that as well. Anyway, that was a small update on why I haven't been working in the garden, because I've been doing this, which was a lot more work than I had anticipated. It doesn't look like a lot of work, but it's a lot of work for me.